why are so many people from Portland moving back to California? Stay tuned, we're gonna get right into the top 5 reasons. My name's Aaron Cullen and this is Brianna Cullen, and together we have a real estate company right here in Portland, Oregon. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and reach out. Our information's right down there in the description area. We'd love to answer any questions about your move to Portland. Now let's get into this. I don't want to say this is a fun topic, but this is part of the truth of moving to Portland, especially people who move from California, especially Southern California, but even the Bay Area. But I find it to be mainly Southern California, where it's nice and sunny year round.
As people who moved to Portland from California, this is a very interesting topic to us. And if you're thinking of moving here from California, you're like, wait, is this a bad decision? Why are people coming back to California? So we wanted to give you the background. And over about the last 4 years, there has been a net decline in the Portland population. More people are moving out of the Portland metro than are moving in. And that really varies pocket by pocket, suburb by suburb, but on the whole, that's the truth. And the research, the data shows that about 19% of those people leaving are moving to California. So that's the data, and then we'll get into some specific stories that we know. But we also wanted to get into why might that be based on what we hear from people.
Yeah, these are our real life stories, talking to friends from California and clients that have moved here. We've helped move here and helped move back.
I wish that there was worse weather here today to cue off our first topic. Yes. Let's start walking and talk about those Portland winters.
Yes, I mean, today is amazing. We're here in October and the weather is just gorgeous. I mean, the fall weather here is just gorgeous. Spring, summer, and fall. But once you get into the winter weather in the late fall, it can be very cloudy, not a lot of direct sunshine, and you can get a lot of rain. I mean, those are just the facts.
Before we started filming, you told me that you get this question all the time from people thinking of moving here. They've heard about the weather, they've thought about the weather, and now they want to know from you, okay, Aaron, how bad is it really?
Yeah, I'm a very positive person. I'm a glass half full type of person. And for me, I love the weather here, but that's not the truth for everybody. And I think that's one of the top reasons, I'd say in the top 2 reasons that people from California move back is because they don't like the winter weather here. They can't handle that lack of sunshine. And with that comes the rain. And we only get 2 to 3 inches more than the national average. Southern California gets a lot less rain than the national average. When you're used to that sunshine kind of year round, some people might think that, hey, it's not that bad. I can, do with the less sun in the winter and stuff. But then after they experience, usually I feel like 2 winters, maybe they realize, hey, I really need that sunny, more deserty climate.
And I was more worried about this than you were when we were moving up here. But I also grew up in Arizona. I grew up in Flagstaff, where we do get 4 seasons, but also it's one of the sunniest places on earth. I think it's 320 days of sunshine a year. I was born in August. I'm a sunshine person, and so I was definitely more worried about it than you were. And it is harder on me in the winter than it is for you. And it's not just the rain, but it's also being further north. The light is much shorter in the winter. So the kids and I were talking the other day about how in the winter when we're driving home from after school activities, it's dark. Between 4:30 and 5, it's all the way dark. And if the sun hasn't really shone brightly that day, that feels hard. I will say that October, I've been just gushing lately about the weather. It's I'm one of those people that does gush about weather. It's so beautiful right now, and I appreciate it so much because I know that it's kind of fleeting, and I know that this is a season and we're about to go into the darker season. So for me, that is actually a pro, not a con. I'm soaking this up. I'm enjoying it so much. I'm getting our family outside as much as I can. And I like the change in seasons and the change in weather. But come February, I need to get to somewhere sunny stat.
Yeah, and so our tip in there is we figured out, and other people have figured out, in February, go to somewhere sunny. Just put that in. Don't go Christmas or Thanksgiving. That's the perfect timing to get you through the next
last
season
year
this
we
spring.
went to Balboa
California.
Island and Disneyland, and when we got back, I was like, I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it. But we do have, I think, 2 groups of friends who moved up here from San Diego, then moved back to San Diego, and I don't think either of them were here more than 2 years.
Yeah, but in their type of personality, I feel like one of them, they didn't really get out and explore and take advantage of the outdoor functions. We went to a winery that has this amazing, it's like family friendly green yard where you can picnic and parents can enjoy a glass of wine.
And
the
it's
kids
like
can
10
run around.
minutes from both of our houses, and they had never been.
Right, they had never been, and it was just like a nice sunny day getting closer to Christmas. And they said, oh, actually we're moving and we bought a house. And I think it was in December.
But they were also like, wow, we've never been here, and I don't know, should we be moving? It's like gorgeous, because you see these like rolling vineyards. It's like so stunning.
And we realized, hey, they spent a year and a half and they never really got out and like explored and enjoyed the perks of living here in the Pacific Northwest. And so if you don't do that, then yeah, I mean, weather's gonna be a very, I think, bigger factor.
There's a saying, I think it's like a Swedish saying, which, you know, Scandinavia definitely has like really amazing summers and very dark winters. And they say there's no bad weather, only the wrong gear.
The wrong gear, yeah.
And so there are certain creative things you have to do to think about, like, how do I enjoy being outside in the winter? How do I stay active? How do I like keep my spirits and my good cheer up? We're happy to answer your individual questions about weather. So just reach out. Next reason is work opportunity. There are absolutely, you know, amazing work opportunities in California. The Portland area does have, you know, some heavy hitters like Nike and Intel and, you know, a number of others. And so many more people are working remote today. But we definitely have one client who moved back or is in the process of moving back for a work opportunity. And I also think that as we get further out of the pandemic, there are more companies who are returning to work in the office or a hybrid work in the office. So people who were able to work remotely may be needing to return to the office in California.
Yeah, so we've definitely seen an uptick in that. And I think the number 3 reason, which, you know, be also right up there in that number 2, so that top 3 reason, is missing family and friends. Now, everybody's different. We've had clients and friends like move up here for a couple of years, and maybe they have kids or they're small kids and they don't have any family up here, and they really miss that family like social net and support that they had there, you know, back in Southern California. And that could be anywhere, but we get a lot of people here that move from California, so that seems to be the most people that end up moving back. And I think it goes in with like, hey, well, I miss the sunshine, I miss the family support of friends. Maybe they don't integrate, you know, as well here locally and meet people in the community.
Yeah, I totally understand that reasoning because we don't have family here, and it is hard to raise young kids without that support network. You have to like create your own babysitting situation, and aside from just childcare, it's the comfort of being around your family. Our family isn't all centrally located in one place where it would ever really make sense for us to move to be near them. So this isn't our situation, but if it was, if you had lived in this like close-knit family area and then you're the one that moved away, I could see how it would be really hard.
There's kind of no getting away from that one. So, you know, that's really going to depend on you if that's your situation and how much, you know, you're willing to kind of explore and take a chance and try something new and your own situation, I think, as well. And I think this segues into the next topic, which is affordability. Now, I think people from California think that their money's gonna go a lot further. A small house is gonna get them like a mansion here, and they're gonna live so much more frugally, and their dollar's gonna go so much further. There's a little bit of truth to that, but it's not anywhere near, you know, what you might think. So I think there can be a little bit of sticker shock when it comes to housing, especially if they're wanting to live somewhere in a higher income level place like Oswego, Westland, Portland Heights, you know, Northwest Portland and those areas.
Which I think people often do. It's like their taste isn't any different. Their expectations are sometimes unrealistic, like what you're saying. They think everyone knows California is so expensive. Everywhere else is gonna be so much less expensive. What I'm gonna be able to get is going to be just astounding. I think that this is still like more value, absolutely, for your money. But I think what the stats show is that it's about 20% less expensive to
Yep.
live here. And if you're trying to go from a really small house or renting something in California to buying an amazing house here, you're probably not going to get that 20% savings even.
Yeah.
So that affordability is an issue. And I think also it's interesting for two of the friends that we have that moved up here and then moved back to San Diego, they bought at like exactly the right time when prices then just shot up, and they were able to sell having built a lot of equity and buy something
In a short amount of time.
in a short amount of time, and then afford something really nice in California. That isn't
Yeah.
always going to be the situation.
No, kind of enabled them to make that switch a lot easier.
Without having to downgrade their lifestyle with the move back to California. Okay, then one other reason that I could see, and I know at least one family where I think this is part of the case, is that they didn't pick an area that was really aligned with what they wanted in Portland. And the thing is, just like anywhere, every suburb and neighborhood has such a different vibe. There are more rural, quiet, slow pace of life. There's more urban, walkable parts of the city. And so you just have to be really honest with yourself about big picture, like what are you looking for your whole lifestyle? And then focus your search in that area. Not to like overthink it or obsess about it, but I do think that if you're moving because you want like a slower pace of life and more nature, but then you're drawn into like a Craftsman in the close-in southeast, 2 years in, that may not be what you wanted.
Yeah, so really reflect on that. So what type of lifestyle do you want to live? I think is the most important question there, because we have seen client and friends make that mistake of, say, buying something in Northeast Portland where it's very urban, but they wanted it to be in that more kind of hip, happening neighborhood, everything's 100% walkable. But at the same time, they also said, hey, they wanted a quieter lifestyle experience. You know, they have newborn kids, and those two things don't really go hand in hand. So I think it's getting clear on what's really important for you, and then come out to Portland and explore. Reach out, give me a call, shoot me an email so we can set up time to explore. Go in, look at a few houses in the urban areas on the west side, in the more quiet, sleepier, more neighborhood communities, to really gauge and get out there and see, hey, what kind of rings more true to you and what you're looking for. That is a mistake that some people make. At some point, you got to make that leap of faith, right? Definitely come out here and kind of experience it a little bit. Go walk through the neighborhoods and kind of see what resonates with you.
And then the last thing is just that moving is hugely stressful. And I was curious about this, so I looked into it. And there was a survey a few years ago of 1,000 Americans, and the number one stressor that people reported, 46% of people said the most stressful thing in their life.
Don't tell me it's moving.
Had been moving. Worse than divorce or having
Wow.
a baby or changing jobs. And I think 64% of the people in the survey said that a recent move was one of the most stressful experiences
Wow.
in their life. It is incredibly stressful. And to your point about people giving themselves time to get integrated and then to explore and make the most of their new city, it's gonna take time. It takes time to make friends, to find your favorite places, to feel a sense of belonging. And it's hard to wait. Like, we're impatient. We want the benefits of the move right away.
That's right.
And it just does take time.
So if any of these points resonate with you, think it through. If moving is a good idea for you. But if it still sounds like a good idea and you want to explore it, reach out. We're here to help. We've been through it. We've helped a lot of people through it. And we're experts in helping people relocate and overcome, a lot of these pain points.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so much fun to share what it's like to live here and to welcome people here. It's like such a fulfilling part of what we do. We hope people do it all the time. So absolutely reach out.
And if you guys enjoyed this video, stay tuned for the next one coming up right now.